In this presentation, my partner and I will be describing what screen addiction is by providing examples of how it looks, current statistics, and providing new innovative ways for someone with screen addiction to cope with this and beat it. In America and most other developed countries, a person cannot walk a mere 5 to 10 minutes on a road without seeing another human staring at a screen. This is a perfect example to display how many people are truly affected by screen addiction and how common it is in our everyday lives. What is screen addiction? Screen addiction is a word to describe when the effects of mass amounts of screen time has the same addictive effects as a drug would on the brain. Although screen addiction is clearly affecting millions of people throughout the world, the recent nature of mass screen accessibility has not given scientists enough time to find the cause of this. The main reason over concern over screen addiction is because of the negative effects it has been found to have on users' brains. There's numerous reports, specifically in children, of large amounts of screen time resulting in permanent neurological diseases such as ADD, ADHD, or a shortened attention span. Adding to this issue, social media companies and other entertainment companies actively aim to make users addicted to their product. Media companies implement machine learning and other algorithms in order to provide users with the material believed to keep the user engaged for the longest period of time possible. This is clearly a danger because companies are putting a massive amount of unknowing users at severe danger of developing screen addiction and all the problems that may ensue. Recently, the pandemic has forced many people to rely on screens as their main source of communication with others. This has increased screen time significantly amongst many people and therefore has also increased the rate of screen addiction among adults in America. One of the most common examples of screen addiction amongst undergraduate students would be a student that compulsively checks and uses his or her phone every few minutes while studying. Although many people watching this may be able to relate to this example, it is not often that one thinks of the short and long-term effects of checking his or her phone every few minutes. When looking at the short and long-term effects that a user will experience from checking his or her phone compulsively over and over, one can not only expect the user to waste time and develop the attention disorders that were previously stated, but one can also expect the student to receive a full letter grade lower than one who would not use their phone as much. However, the user is not only affecting his or herself, but also all the masses of people using the same application that the user was just checking. This is because when the user checks their phone, the algorithm can collect data on what users like to see. By the algorithm collecting this data, it can apply it not only to this user, but to all other users using the application, and therefore make them use the application longer, resulting in a higher chance of the user developing screen addiction. Although people watching this may not be able to relate with this example as much as the other one, another very common form of screen addiction is in toddlers and young children. Now more than ever, toddlers can have access to screens and other forms of entertainment at a hand's reach at most times. In fact, it has been found that 9 out of 10 children who are 2 years old have constant access to screens. This has resulted in a phenomenon of kids being able to use and navigate screens before they can walk and talk. When looking at the effects of screen addiction on children, one can be worried about similar effects as those of adults. However, a child's brain triples in size from age 0 to 3, so by having them constantly exposed to screens, their brains will be shaped by screen addiction. This has been shown to lead to developmental issues with communication and social performance. However, since many of these children are young and this technology is rather new, the long-term effects of screen addiction on children is not yet known. From a technological perspective, this has forced companies and software developers to create simple software for children to use. However, by doing this, they are putting unknowing kids at risk for very serious neurological disease that may affect their performance for the rest of their lives. One of the oldest and most common ways of developing screen addiction is at work. Many companies force their employees to be staring at a screen for up to 8 hours a day. Although for many job fields it is a requirement and cannot be worked around, this still leads to very serious issues regarding brain function and brain health. From the employee's point of view, the biggest effect that has yet to be discussed is social isolation. In the past, employees would normally communicate face-to-face whenever needed, but in the age of digital technology, it is much more common to communicate through email or text message. This results in a lack of human interaction within employees, which leads to them missing out on important connections that could potentially further their career or improve their lives, as well as an increased feeling of loneliness and depression. One study out of the United Kingdom shows that screen addiction is much more prevalent now than it ever has been in the past. In fact, it is 2.8 times higher than what it was in 2005 for the average adult. This results in a total of 25 hours weekly on screens. This means that the average person is spending 1 day a week completely disconnected from reality and engaged with their device. With technology becoming more accessible, and by following trends in the past 10 years, this number is only expected to increase. By increasing the total time spent on screens, all the other negative effects previously listed will only become more severe. Another study found that screen time has a significant and negative effect on mental health. Due to the pandemic, people had to spend more time on their screens and they lacked important human interaction. This is when the effect has been the most clear. Many students were found to have lost social interaction skills and missed out on important development of social and behavioral skills. This resulted in parents reporting many more conflicts within the house and students reporting much higher rate of mental health issues.
It's very important to have a balance in your life because something that's good, not used in moderation, can be bad. It's not necessary to cut out screen time completely, but it is important to remember to keep it at a reasonable level. Children are one of the most heavily affected groups by screen addiction, and it is important for parents to know how to treat their children's screen addiction and prevent it. One of the most important things for children to avoid screen addiction is to make sure that they are going outside, getting exercise, and being able to play. The Canadian Physical Activity Guidelines for Children and Youth recommends that children get at least 60 minutes per day of physical activity as part of their Make Room for Play campaign. The Mayo Clinic also reinforces this idea and gives the same number of 60 minutes. Although it is very important for adolescents to have limited screen time, this also affects adults. It's important to remember that you're happier without social media. A research group in Denmark did a study with a group of people where one group deleted Facebook and it was shown that their happiness score increased during the period of time, while the other group that stayed on social media did not experience that same increase in happiness. Recommendations for adults to control their mobile device screen time include turning off all notifications not from other people, using the grayscale settings on your phone to limit the reward system triggered by the colors on the screen. It's recommended to limit the apps on your home screen so that your most addictive apps, such as social media, will not be as much of a distraction. There are also apps to help you limit your screen time, and another great solution is to get rid of social media altogether. Why is Instagram so addictive? Instagram is so addictive because as people, we feel the need to capture the moment. We don't want to miss out on things that are fun, and we love to share that with other people. The problem is this creates a sense of false reality with people because every picture and image and video is filtered. So you're not really seeing the truth on social media a lot of the time. Artificial intelligence is also a big player in social media's addictiveness. Instagram uses artificial intelligence to target people with ads and posts that they would like to see more. The like feature on Instagram gives a reward, a sense of satisfaction in our brains, which isn't always healthy because we come back for more and we thrive for more. We created a wireframe of edits that can be made to Instagram to make it less addictive. Our changes include grayscale. We removed the like feature, moved around the home screen a little bit. We also added a new screen time tab so that you can see your screen time throughout the week and the day and limit it. And the maximum amount of time that you'd be able to spend on the app is 3 hours. We also simplified photo editing to get rid of filters so that not everything is fake. These are our sources. Thank you for watching.